Triumphant Tuesdays, where grace abounds. We hear
Trust in God. I know that.
Welcome to Triumph Tuesdays. Let's get ready to triumph. May you experience the prophetic and anointed preaching of Elizabeth Hudson. Get ready to encounter an undeniable move of God filled with power, deliverance, restoration, and edification. Elizabeth Hudson is God's woman of faith and power. You, my friend, are moments away from victory. Let's get ready to triumph. Have you ever seen a post that made you shake your head and you said to yourself, they put that on Facebook? Well, we here at Elizabeth Hudson Ministries have seen far too many. Therefore, we are presenting the long-awaited conversation entitled, "And You Told Facebook Instead of God?" During this live segment, we will discuss the effects of audacious posting, social media etiquette, imposter syndrome, screenshots, stay out of my inbox, and many more social media concerns. Joining this conversation will be Reverend Damon M. Pastor James Edwards, Pastor Shunise Criswell, Pastor Kyle West, and Pastor Mark Moore Jr. Listen, friends and family, you don't want to miss this conversation. Call a neighbor, tag a friend, and join your host, Elizabeth Hudson, on Facebook Live this coming May 16th at 7:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to find out why you told Facebook instead of God.
Hey, is my microphone on? 1 2 1 2. It's Lizzie, and yes, it is a triumphant Tuesday. And might I add, it's a triumphant Tuesday like no other. I'm glad you guys are coming in. I see you guys. Let me know where you're coming in from. Where are you? I see you. I see you. I see you. Do me a favor while you're coming in. Go ahead and share this. I promise you, I'll bet you bottom dollar you'll be glad that you did. Matter of fact, tag some people for your girl. Is that okay? Well, I'm excited tonight, guys, because we have been on pins and needles in great expectation for this conversation. And you told Facebook instead of God. Well, we're here, y'all. Let's get into this, right? So what I want to do on tonight, I know you guys have been wondering, and hey, lady, how do we get that shirt? Listen, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to show you the shirt. Y'all see that shirt? Fire, right? You guys can get your shirt. So you can go to the site. You can go to the Shopify site right there. Or you can go to elizabethhudson.com and you can get your shirts tonight. There's hoodies, there's t-shirts, there's a water bottle, there's all kind of, and you told Facebook instead of God, merch there. You want to rock out with us, you want to swag out with us, you just go ahead and go right up in there and pick what you want, right? Father's Day is coming. So pick a gift for daddy. But nevertheless, we are here. Not only are we here on Facebook Live, we're also streaming on Believe Radio, guys. Yes, we are streaming on Believe Radio Bay Area. So if you are listening and you have to log off, but you still want to listen into the conversation, go right over there to believeradiobayarea.com. And we are streaming on all of their platforms. That includes YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. And of course, this conversation is going to re-air on Thursday night at 7:15. Yes, God is doing great things here at Elizabeth Hudson Ministries. So I don't want to bore your patience. I see you guys coming in. Y'all in here, huh? I see you coming in. I want to go ahead and get this conversation started. I want to begin to welcome some of my guests. Matter of fact, all of my guests. Well, tonight, I have the absolute pleasure to have God's amazing voices to join this table and have this conversation, right? I have the pleasure of introducing Pastor James Edwards. He is coming to this table. Hey, bruh, how are you?
Hello. Doing good. How are you?
Listen, I like your shirt.
Thank you. You can buy it if you want.
Listen, for a humble fee of $19.99. Not only do I have Pastor James Edwards, I have my brother, Reverend Dr. Damon Ray. Where you at? Where you at?
Good evening. Good evening. Good to be with you, Lady Hudson. So excited about tonight. Looking forward to the conversation.
Hey.
And I do like your shirt as well.
You like my shirt? I like your shirt. Listen, I like your shirt. And all the way out of Las Vegas, I have my little big brother. Listen, God's man of faith and power, Dr. Reverend Pastor Kyle West is coming to this table. Yes, there you
What's
go.
going on? What's going on?
What's up, bruh?
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Listen, I'm glad that you said yes. And guess what? I don't want to be the only lady in the room. I have my sister. My little sister is here. Pastor Shunise Criswell.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
How are you, dear?
I am blessed and highly favored. Amen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we are. Yes,
I love all of your shirts.
I love your shirt. That blue brings out your eyes.
Rep it.
And listen, I think, can we get a drum roll, y'all? Can we get a drum roll? Listen, I know they'd be excited about the Pope at the Vatican and all of these places, but God did me a favor. He answered a prayer. He's shaking his head. I can see you, doctor. I can see you. Yes. Listen, y'all. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to introduce him because he needs no introduction. I'm just going to say it. Dr. Pastor Mark Moore Jr. is in the building, y'all. I'm
about to log off. I'm about to log off.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Listen,
All right.
Mark Moore is in the room.
Oh, God.
Welcome.
Raise your right hand.
Listen, welcome everybody to the table. Welcome to Triumphant Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we absolutely triumph, right? So on tonight, you guys have said yes, and I want to say thank you for your yes. As we have this conversation, and you told Facebook instead of God, right? How many times have we looked on Facebook and said, I know you lying. I know they did not put that on Facebook. Child. And sometimes we laugh and we joke, and that was me. I was having a ball, and I think it was during the pandemic. It was like Holy Spirit kind of tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, some of this is kind of getting out of hand, and like I need you to kind of have the conversation with those that will listen, because scripture is true for us that are believers. We are living epistles read by men, but if they're reading us, the first place they're going to read is our Facebook post and our status. And some of the things as believers and as leaders, it's like, ooh. And y'all know, I mean, am I the only one? And y'all know, I'm going to be honest. I didn't follow some good fights on Facebook. People I didn't even know. I said, well, let me go on over, and I become a good FBI agent. Like, oh my gosh. Oh Lord. All fun and games, but as time has progressed and we begin to see things that has taken place on social media, because everybody's on social media, really outside the jokes, my heart began to be grieved. Case in point, the whole Jamie Foxx thing. People are going crazy, misinformation, people just posting for the sake of posting. And sometimes our platforms and our social media sites, it can either break us or it can make us. It can hurt or it can do good. So I thought there's no time like the present to have the conversation. And why did you tell Facebook, right? And just, I want to talk about the stuff we say, but nobody's saying out loud, right? We're going to have a ball on tonight. Y'all that are tuned in and are listening, y'all ready? I want to see y'all in this chat. I want to see y'all in the comments. Let's go. So this is how we're going to do it on tonight. I'm going to ask a question, but it is a free all. Everybody can chime in. Everybody can have an answer. Our viewers, if you have a question, you can go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll try to get to it. Okay. So social media, to my guests, social media has been a blessing, both positive, and it can be a blessing positively to us, and we see it, how it works. So let me ask this question: how has social media been a blessing to you, or how has it positively affected your ministry, or how has it affected your business, or how you are seen in the marketplace? Anybody can go.
Okay, so for me, number one, thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited to be here. For everybody in the comments, you are tuning in into a special conversation. It's going to be really good. Number one, for me, I'll say social media has been amazing for me. I have been able to network and connect with some amazing people and meet some awesome people that have actually changed my life, and that I've actually been able to partner with, work with, and do a lot with. You know, I have a production company based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm not a guy that ever really talks about a lot of like my clientele and stuff, but I've been able to do some stuff with some really important people, and make some connections and have some contracts that really allow me to take care of my family outside of ministry. And so, you know, I can say I have a profitable business because I network well, I build well, and I deliver on what it is I'm contracted for. And so I'm a pastor and a CEO. And, you know, I've really used social media more so for anything on the business side, more than anything. And then in the church world, I've been able to, of course, reach more people and, you know, bring more people into our church and things of that nature. So it's been a really good help for me. Great tool.
Cool. Pastor James, what about you?
Well, of course, I say ditto. It is beneficial. It is necessary. It has expanded my reach to a place that, you know, and I'll say, for example, for the church, I tell members that if we were to try to fit all the people who watch us on social media into the building, it'll be a violation of the fire marshal code. But because of you know, whether it's the pandemic forcing us out of our comfort zone, some of us, and just forcing us to go live, we have a way of sending this gospel throughout the whole world via World Wide Web. And so you can reach people in any nation. All of us have gone global. You know, used to make fun of churches saying they're calling their church a international church or worldwide church. But at this point, we all have the potential of being worldwide simply because of a camera, a cell phone, a camera, whatever you have. That if you market it right, put it out there. Matter of fact, I encourage them that right now they may not want us knocking on their doors for safety, but you can reshare. You can invite them to your church by commenting, and it's just that simple. And not only for the church, but you know, I have my private practice. I have a sole proprietorship, an LLC. I do all that, and social media is very important to network and to put it out there. And I will say that it is the upside, here I go, of social media is that it's giving everyone a platform. The downside is giving everyone a platform. So
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everybody's microphone don't
Everybody.
turn down a little bit.
Absolutely. Hilarious.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
No, it's okay. It's us. It's just us, and we just got some people watching us be us, right? So listen, I see all the time people say, this is my page, I can post whatever I want to, which is true. But there's a fallout to that, because most times when you see that, not all the times, most times when you see that statement, there's some audacious posting that's coming behind it, right? So when you think about audacious posting, it's risky, it's brave, it's a fearless posting. But then there's that level of disrespect, just being rude. What are some of the fallouts that you guys have seen where individuals post in that manner?
If I can jump in there, let me first say how grateful I am, along with everybody else, just for you sharing your platform and your voice and calling us together, because this is a much needed conversation. I was on my phone a moment ago because I wanted to make sure I shared the broadcast, and I really hope everybody in the chat, Facebook, wherever you're watching, will do the same, because I really think this is going to help some people. But to answer your question, I think that the most present and current and obvious answer to that question is a young man in Memphis, Tennessee by the name of John Morant. He's an NBA player. all-star, literally a $100 million man who is in a world of trouble tonight because he made that approach. It's my page. It's my social media. I can say what I want. And the truth of the matter is, you're absolutely right. You can say what you want. But what's also true is that you have to deal with the effects of your decision. I think that the problem is these screens and these devices and these cameras have given us computer courage, right? We've got digital nerve that we're free to say things with our hands and our fingers and our pages that we would never walk up to someone on the street and say. It has amplified our ability to be opinionated. And I think that what we have to understand, using, again, John Moran as an example, and so many other non-multimillionaire teens and old folks alike, every post comes with a consequence. And a lot of us have lost jobs or been picked over for jobs or skipped over. We've lost promotions. We've lost ministry assignments, if you want to know the whole truth, because I'll confess, I'm a new pastor, but I'm a veteran conference host, if you will. And there are people that I did not invite, would not invite, uninvited, because I've realized through social media, they don't have a filter. And anything without a filter is dangerous. I don't even want to drink out of a water fountain that don't have a filter. I don't want to drink my refrigerator. You got to change the filter so often. And so I think that the downside and the danger of that, it's my page, I'll say what I want, is that we forget that those statements come with reactions. They come with consequences. How many times, and I'm giving it back over, how many times, especially in the wake of George Floyd and in the Black Lives Matter movement, how many times did we see people lose jobs and really get blasted for their blatant racism because they made business owners that were making statements and people found out who that was and put their business on blast and they lost their business because people stopped going. You can say what you want. This is America, but people are allowed to respond in a way they seem fit. And I think we need to remember that.
That's dope. Can I ask this question? Because I see it a lot just from a leadership standpoint. I made this comment to a leader. I said, you know what, we live in an era now. Before, people would come and visit your church by way of word of mouth. But now, before they visit your church, they visit your post.
Right.
And if you are a very argumentative or you always have something negative to say and they're looking for a pastor, they might opt not to even come to your church, don't want to hear anything you have to say because your opinion, you're too opinionated to pastor me. Especially if I have a whole lot of issues. I don't kind of trust you because I looked at your last 7 posts and you ripping everybody. Pastors, leaders, can you talk to, you know, some leaders that may not be mature enough in that area or cognizant to understand that people are looking at what you post before they even come to your ministry?
You have to always make sure, Lady Hudson, and thank you again for this opportunity as well, to make sure that you're focusing primarily on your brand, on what you have before you. It's not just about you. And as a pastor and as a leader of a congregation or on whatever you may be in charge of, you have to know that it's an after effect. It's an after effect that's going to come to whatever post you just made, whatever statement you just made. And as in ministry, you have to know you have people who really believe that you love the Lord with all your heart. You have people that really believe that you can get a prayer through. You have people who really know that they can call you if they're going through. And if they are on Facebook or on these type of things and they're saying things that just don't align with the Spirit of God, you know what I mean? Don't align with how they view you. You don't want people to question your Holy Ghost or question the impact of God on your life. And that's why we have to be careful as minstrels and as clerics of the gospel. We have to be careful and make sure that we're posting and showing the right image of God first or even online. And I get what my brother was saying about John Morant. A lot of times I've even felt that way, even, you know, because Facebook came out, Lady Hudson, when I was fresh in college, and it was just for us college students. It was, we were mad when they opened it up for our parents. And so I felt that way. I felt that way that, you know, this is just for us. You know, this is just for us. So I can say what I want. I can say what I want, do that. But when you get convicted of what you say, sometimes you really need to stop. When you feel some type of conviction, you really need to hit delete. I was looking, I was on Instagram just last night, and out of Memphis, All Nations out of Memphis, pastor was saying how he literally saw one of his sons in the gospel post something, and he called him immediately and told him, you need to take that down. Yeah. See, that's the type of spiritual father I want in my life, who literally sees something that I don't see. And it could be as simple, but listen, if you are posting something and you see someone that you are in ministry with that's posting something that shouldn't be there, have a heart and let them know, because literally we have to represent God in all things that we do. And we don't need to be posting nothing we shouldn't, but at times we may not be thinking, because we have that John Morant personality or thoughts and different things like that, or we're angry. Because we get angry as Christians, we get angry as people, but we have to make sure that we're posting the right things so that God can be represented even in that.
Yeah, that's good. Dr. Ray, let me ask this. I mean, because you make a very valid point when you talked about how one of his sons in the gospel, he called them and said, you know, take that down. And I think that's what's missing. You know, our accountability, because when you're accountable to someone, and then on top of that, other people are accountable to you, and you give somebody the okay to call you and say, hey, that doesn't look right, you need to take that down. And then that don't be your second post. People don't know I'm grown. I can say what I want to say, you know. How important is it to still have accountability even with my social media platforms? How was that?
If you want this platform in the gospel, you can't be saying what you want. You can't live like you want. You can't do things like you want. You can't go where you want. So literally, you don't need to be on Facebook posting like you want. I know we want to. I know we want to go off and clock and do all those things at times, but we just can't. We have to always represent Christ, because other people are looking at us to be blessed. Other people are looking at us for a word. Other people are looking at us to, you know, experience Christ, and they can't experience that if all the time we're on there. I know she said this, or I know he said that. What happens with this? Catch me on the street. Those type of comments or those type of statements are literally not a representation of how we need to look. So yes, thank God for the accountability partners out there, the people who are watching our people, watching whoever, and watching the young people, watching their pastors, their youth pastors, their ministers, their music and different things. Thank God for those type of pastors. I don't, because my old pastor, I was under, he would tell me in a heartbeat, look, I heard you posting this, and you know, the people share it. You know, they sharing this right now. That's as quick as they sending it to that pastor. Look what Reverend Damon posted. So I understand what you're saying, Lady Hudson.
I thought you was about to tune up on me. He felt that thing. Yeah. What's your cash out? We're gonna send you an offer.
Can I say something real quick?
Please do.
I just want to throw in that every personal opinion doesn't have to be a public opinion. It doesn't. Everybody don't need to know. You can have strong conviction, but it's not appropriate for every platform, for every setting. Right. Because what I want, whether it's business, whether it's ministry, personal life, is maximum effectiveness. Yeah. And so I think that before you do anything, not just posting, but I think in life, you have to ask yourself, is this necessary? And that eliminates a lot of stuff. Like, is this helpful? And is this expedient? And a lot of that will eliminate a lot of things, because a lot of times when we post our opinions, what we don't realize is our opinions change. And I would hate for someone to limit me or judge me or shut a door on me or limit me, demarcate me today off an opinion I had yesterday. And whenever you put stuff on social media, there's a timestamp, a public timestamp of your development. And there is a reason why caterpillars metamorphosize in a cocoon, because transitions are to be private. So that's so we're not, every opinion you have shouldn't be out there in the public, because you're gonna change.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what he said, you know, really bringing it all together, the right accountability teaches you how to manage what's what's supposed to be where. And I have a personal rule. My blood belongs in a hospital, not on social media. And if there's ever a moment where I feel like I need to vent, or I feel like I need to release something, or I feel wounded, or I feel hurt, I'm not giving it to people that I know need me, or people that I know are watching me. I just got a message just now. Somebody said, man, your content is blessing me. I'll show you if I need proof, because some people be like, these pastors be capping. No, I'm being serious. I just got a message. And I think about that because, I'm a young guy, but I have a lot of older people and younger people that watch me. And so when people are depending on you, maturity says I need healthy outlets to keep me in line, so I don't become that person that's just bleeding on people. Because sometimes you see some of these posts and you really want to tell people it's okay to heal. Like, it's okay to deactivate and just, leave us alone. We don't need to know what you're going through right now. Yeah.
That's amazing, because I remember one time, can I just be transparent? I mean, I was hot. I saw something and it just like hit the button. And, I had made this post and I was strong in it. I mean, my keystrokes was, you could see. And submit now. And one of my closest friends called me and was like, what you going through? I was like, what you talking about? She was like, take that down. And here, you don't call me and tell me what to say on my, but all the time, let's be honest, the Holy Ghost was convicting me all along.
Yeah.
Right. And she said to me, take that down and we can have that conversation, and I'll allow you to vent just between you and I. But there are too many people that are watching you. And here's the thing, where I truly got convicted was what I was saying. Somebody way on left field, who I wasn't even thinking about, took it to heart. And it caused them to feel some kind of way. So my one post did so much damage to other people. And it was right then and there. I said, and you told Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
Really, it was that important
to go there.
And from to this day, I felt horrible. I absolutely felt horrible. But the flip side is that some people get on social media just to be aggressive and argumentative. They don't like nothing. I mean, they absolutely don't. I don't care. The sky is blue. No, it's not. It's orange. Do we delete them? Do we not pay them any attention? Because sometimes they can get in your feed. You can be having a healthy dialogue, and here they come, just negative Nancy. What do we do?
I personally scroll past it. I don't even allow it to enter into my mind, my spirit, none of it. I'm in a season in my life where I don't even allow negativity to enter in. If it's negative, I just go right past it. So at the end of the day, some people are not receptive to you. Actually, when you guys were saying accountability and everything like that, some people are not receptive. So if they're not receptive, what do? You leave them where they are and you pray for them. For me, this is what I do. I leave them where they are and I pray for them afar. And then sometimes, I'm just being honest, I don't even pray because I don't know how many more prayers the Lord is going to answer. And I don't want to waste it on a knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you just keep it pushing and just pray that one day it'll click and that they'll get it. It's only so much you can do with certain people. Everybody was talking about coming from a pastor side or a minister side, but what about those who are not in those leadership positions and they're posting these things? They have no reason to be censored, if you will, because they're not in leadership. So what do we do with those type of people? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, depending on who it is, I may say something. I may ask, do they need to vent? It just depends on who it is. And if I feel like this person, if my spirit of discernment tells me this person ain't gonna get it, I just scroll right past it and I keep it moving.
If I can jump in, my sister's better than I am, because I'm not gonna keep scrolling. If everybody has a bad day, right? But some people just have a bad personality,
right?
And once it's clear that no, you're cantankerous, you're intentionally controversial. Everything is strife. Every church spat and drama you got in the paint. I am a firm believer that the unfriend and block button is your friend. And I think we have to, especially those of us that are really trying to do something, whether it's ministry or entrepreneurial, you've got so many people that want to support you, that will support you, that need what you have, people that are literally assigned to your voice. And some of us, our page is full of people that don't engage, don't like you. They're only there to see what they can disagree with and to ask other people, you see what he doing now? You see what she doing now? Make room for the people that want to be a blessing to your life. Yep. And I want to get us out of this idea and this mindset that you owe people real estate on your timeline. Even in the natural world, don't nobody owe you real. You gotta pay for real estate. Nobody giving away land. Why are we giving away land? No, you have to pay to take up space in my space. And so I think that, I'm always baffled when people talk about y'all always on here talking about such and such. Y'all so messy. Y'all so this. As soon as I see that, I see through that. And I make a decision that this is someone that has cultivated an atmosphere of messy, drama, tension, because you determine who you see. So if you're one of these people always talking about, y'all just so messy, you made a decision to connect with messy. Make another decision to unfriend, unfollow. Here's my thing. Social media should be on some level an escape, right? I've got enough tension in my tangible in-person world to come on here and be tense as well. And I'm going to get aggravated at strangers? Why?
No way.
Right.
I've unfriended people that I know in real life, and several of them at certain points have confronted me. I noticed you unfriended me. What's going on? Well, just like you reached out to me directly because you actually know me, you can reach out directly if we need to share something. But I have people that don't know me that want to, that I'm making room for, because you have my phone number. We don't have to be friends online. Follow me. So I think that block button is a friend.
Pastor Moore, what about the unfollow button? Because I've seen people, and I just my personal experience, in the heat of it. That's why I wanted to move into the segment entitled "Friends Don't Let Friends Post When They're Drunk," and that means drunk in their emotions.
Yeah,
where you're spiraling out, and I have unfollowed. And I think my unfollow button is like probation, because like you keep that up, then I'm going to delete and block you. But I have unfollowed people simply on the subliminals, because I know you're not brave enough to call Lizzie, but you will subliminally say it. I know you're talking about me, and it's like a part of me really want to give you another chance because I think you're just in your emotions. But then if it keeps going, I might just go ahead and delete and block you. But then I might not want to block you because I want you to see what God's doing.
Right. So, I was going to say that. I wouldn't block them.
Let's just be honest.
But I wouldn't block because you got to see what's happening.
I need you to see
I think that depends on your personality type, because for me, I'm an upset, and I don't know if this is a good thing. I need the doctor to diagnose me. But much of the wins that I've had with the help of the Lord have been the result of an obsessive drive. Right. We grew our conference because I was obsessed with it. Right. Our church is doing some great things right now because I'm all in. And so for me, if you've crossed me, you said something slick about my family or it's not enough for me just to unfriend you, because I'm gonna go check that page after a while, and I want to see what you say. And if you say something else, now I got to respond.
Discipline, Doc.
So for me, if you are gone, you're gone. I can move on. I can stay focused. So Shunise got a different kind of Holy Ghost than I do. Yes. Mine, I'm gonna have to block you in Jesus' name.
That block list is real.
Listen, y'all from Israel, I'm from Canaan. We're a little different over here in Canaan. We come after Jesus, so I'm gonna come after you. I'm gonna get a response.
You will forget all about a person. You will totally forget them.
Block them.
Years later, like,
what's their name?
What's their name?
Who was that? I got a question. Pastor Moore, has there ever been a time you posted something and in your opinion, you thought it was a safe post, like it was good,
Oh God,
but it was totally taken out of content? How did you deal with that?
I'm almost scared to answer that question right now because I'm afraid
Who are the hot young preachers?
I'm afraid my answer might be viewed as a response to something, because that happens all the time. And let me say this, and again, this is a general statement.
It's general.
Yeah.
I think that one of the negative side effects of social media is it reveals how small some of us are.
Exactly.
How small our circle is, how small our mind is, how small our reach is. I'm about to, but you know, I gotta get this out. You woke me up, still a fresh. Hallelujah. All right. But I think sometimes we reveal how narrow our mind is and how small, and here's the word I'm looking for. We show how underexposed we are. I think we have to remember that just because you're thinking about someone all the time doesn't mean they're thinking about you.
Right.
And if you look at the width of our lives, think about this. There are people that we know through a screen, but these people, they have families, they have co-workers, they have employees or employers, they have church friends, they have neighborhood friends, they have friends from school, right? They have multiple circles that they have conflict in, that they have heartbreak in, that they have tension in. And how ignorant would we be to assume that someone who makes a statement online must be talking about us? Now, of course, we know we have enough discernment to know there's some things, and you don't know nobody else but me, so I know that was targeted. But I've had the frustrating feeling of just speaking about, and there's some issues that are common to man, right? Just because it hits you, and I think as preachers, we got to deal with this pre-social media. We got to deal with this from the pulpit. If you come and say, Pastor, I need prayer because I'm dealing with such and such, you're number one, you're not the only so-and-so dealing with such and such. So you can't assume that when we address that issue, you're just talking about me. No, it's 10 of y'all with DUIs in here that need to stop drinking.
Right.
Not just you, Deacon Leroy, whatever, right? So I think that we have to be mindful of two things. One, everybody, just because you're on their mind or they're on your mind doesn't mean it works both ways. Just because you're thinking about them doesn't mean they're thinking about you. And at the same time, remember, everything is inspired by something. So the fact that you might have had we have to be mature enough to realize everything's not about us. It's self-centered, it's arrogant, and it borders on ignorant to assume and to work ourselves up into a frenzy to think that everything, and that's another sign. If you're that worked up, they talking about me, maybe we need to separate. Maybe I need to mute, unfriend, unfollow, block, whatever the context of the range of emotion is. But we have to be free to realize everything's not about us.
That's good. That's good. I want to switch over to the segment living for likes, because some people, they live for likes, and if you don't like it, they, kind of begin to devalue or shrink within. Pastor James, by vocation, you are a licensed therapist. How many times do you see a post and think they need an appointment with me? Because some of it may be, attention-seeking behaviors, but in some cases, in your opinion, it may not necessarily be a DSM clinical diagnosis, but you do see that, okay, something is really going on there, outside of the laughter and the joking. There really is some mental health, there's a breakdown happening. How many times do you see that?
Many is the times that I see, but I see it often. And of course, like you said, we don't diagnose people off of posts, but you can definitely see a preview into what's going on in people's internal world by how they express themselves in their external world. So the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak, and then what abundance of what you speak, you will post. And so there are definitely hints of what's going on inside of a person. And I think one of the issues that go on is that one is that people use their timeline and social media, that they use their public posting as their private diary. And so they do all their internal processing publicly, and then wonder when people respond on a social media platform, they want to say, why y'all in my business? But you put us in your business. So you brought us into this soap opera and wonder why we wondering when the next episode gonna be, because you did that. So
that's good.
so don't be talking about we hating on you. We don't even know you. But that is a concern. So there's a few things going on. I think also that social media has made us technologically advanced, but made us socially primitive. And that there is, I think that when people even as a social worker, as a clinician, I'm trained to deal with people, whether they are having a severe crisis or whether they're attention seeking or whatever. That's what I do. That's my job. But all your social media friends shouldn't have to daily pass the test of whether or not they love you. You shouldn't have to send us through hoops and make us, all my real friends comment, and all of the people, don't nobody love you. So now we got to chase you down and play the what's wrong with you this time. So that's not the game. See, you can't force people to play a game they didn't sign up for. And if you're having a process, what you really need isn't to go online. What you really need is friends. You need somebody to talk to, somebody who you can chat and do all that exploding, doing all the talking, say what you really feel, somebody who you can trust that ain't gonna hold it against you, that you can be transparent and get that off your chest. And now we can move on, because you have an image to protect. See, here I go biblical. A good name is rather to be chosen than gold. The Holy Ghost ain't gonna give you a good name. The church ain't gonna give you a good name. The world ain't gonna give you a good name. You have to give you a good name. And if you keep tarnishing your name by everything you say and do, then you can't be surprised that people respond accordingly.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. So we do need to address every issue. We have to address all our mental health symptoms and address that. Let me say this too: that venting, cathartic release, isn't a cure. Sometimes you can express yourself and feel
say
better.
That again.
Got it out there. Then you dumped on us. You bled on us, as someone said. And so we shouldn't be a casualty of your warfare. You need to. It is your responsibility to process and to heal from your stuff, from your trauma. I shouldn't be hurt today because of what somebody else said yesterday. That's my responsibility. And until you can be a big boy and big girl, put on your big boy pants and be mature, then you shouldn't be holding the weapon called social media, because it's like swinging a knife without looking. So you have to be intentional on what you're doing. So let me stop.
Listen, they are going ham in these comments. So somebody said, yeah, they pay for fake views. Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
Yeah. That's a very much a thing.
It's a thing.
Y'all, where we get some, man? Let me go.
I didn't know that.
How much they cost? You get like $30 for $10?
Something like that.
Like, where you get for real?
It is definitely out there, and they are definitely. Yeah.
Y'all better talk. I'm gonna close my mouth.
I didn't know you could pay for views. I know you could buy followers. I didn't even know you could buy views.
Likes. You can buy likes.
You can buy likes.
It's bots.
You can buy live views.
If you know somebody who is not that well known,
well, you know what?
Over 1,000 likes. That's a giveaway.
You're right, sister. That is
because
if you look at all their other posts,
that's true.
And they only have 4 and 5 likes down the line, but all of a sudden you have 1,000. That's a red flag.
Or look at
me when I do it.
The comments is on the line with the live.
Yeah.
You know, that's how
6 people comment and 9,000 people watch.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Now I digress.
I think that it's just that pursuit of clout, and social media is a big playground, and every playground has to have a hierarchy, and I think that people go that route. But I will say this: I've never bought no views or followers, but I do disagree with the statement. I've heard so many people say it, and I shake my head and kind of chuckle when they say it. But people make this approach of being famous on social media is like being rich in Monopoly. It's not real. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that is not true. That is not true at all.
Not at all.
We live in an attention economy.
That's right.
If you look even pre-social, if you look at the rise of reality television, people there. Y'all remember when there used to be a thing? I know we're all young, but y'all remember there used to be a thing called shame.
Yeah.
Anybody remember that? It's you have to go to the Smithsonian to find shame now because it doesn't exist no more. The more egregious, the more loud, the more reckless. That's an avenue and a platform to visibility, and all of that can be monetized. So to close that point out, I think it's important that we have to steward the influence we've been given and don't settle for cheap laughs, because everybody that will laugh at you
It's not laughing with you.
is not laughing with you. And a lot of the folks laughing at you won't buy from you. They won't come to your conference. They won't, because you've reduced yourself to a joke. I don't want to say names because it's not about the personnel. It's about the principle. But even in ministry context, there have been people, and to me, it's not healthy because it's like bullying at a certain point. But there are some pages, they go live every day and people tune in to laugh and to mock. And it's like, hey, that person's not even, I don't know if they're all the way well. I don't think this is a good thing to do. But everybody on there hyping up and it's like, I think this has become something else now, right? And everybody knows you. There's a difference between being famous and being respected.
Right.
People can know you. Oh, that's the clown. That's the so and so. But do you want to just be famous, or do you want to be influential?
Right.
There's a difference.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, there are certain people, I won't even say their names, I totally lost respect for. Like before I followed them on social media, loved them, but being able to take a look, like that's how you feel. And it wasn't just you had a bad day, you having a bad life.
Right.
And you're going live about it. Like we keep having that. Your lives are always about this and about that offense and that thing. And at some point, it just, I'm good. I can, my thumbs are strong because I will scroll so fast. I'm serious because it's embarrassing. Really, it really is embarrassing. Kyle, I'm sorry, Pastor Kyle. Question for you. We often see on the book where somebody has passed away, and before it's confirmed or not, somebody feel like they got to be the first one to post that. Bro, talk to us. What's your opinion on that?
One of the most disrespectful and disgusting things you can do is release information that you may be privy to before people can tell for themselves. I think the church in general right now owes a lot of families checks for emotional damage due to the fact that they were in a rush to release such and such as information. We saw it with the passing of, Kevin Lemons. We saw it recently. He's not even dead, but people were in a rush to make him be dead with Jamie Foxx. Right. And it makes you really fight for your privacy, and it makes you fight for just for the right to be able to keep information in house. There are a lot of things that I could deal with or may experience that this world wouldn't. I could die tomorrow and people wouldn't find out till Friday, because that's how I have things set up in my life. And the reason being is because if you do church long enough, you will see people, they just want this clout. They're searching for views. They're searching for the credibility to say, hey, I was such and such to this person, and I was close with this person. And then once you really find out the truth, you realize
I just talked to him 3 hours ago.
You sent a fire emoji on a reel. You didn't talk to that person. That person don't know you like that.
We were just on the phone.
Yeah, nobody knows you. And that shows you the danger of the culture we built, because we use terms like bro, we use terms like sis, we use terms like mom, dad, uncle, auntie. We use that stuff so loosely, and it creates this false a relationship context in our heads that makes us think we are something to someone. So now we have the ability to release. And the truth is, they don't know you. The family doesn't know you. And you need to stay who you are. It kind of adds more context to the first shall be last and the last shall be first, because the person who's first to do it tends up looking like a fool, and then they end up last and finding anything else out because, you know, it's just bad. And I think we have to really fix this culture and put ourselves in a position of where we say there has to be rules to this. Number one, if the main person connected to the individual has asked for something to be handled in a certain way, give them the opportunity to work through their processes. Give them the opportunity to say what it is that they want to say about it before you come out, especially because, like, you know, we talk about it, it's kind of comical, but it's sick how fast graphic designers are when people die.
That makes me mad because it took you 5 to 10 business days to get my flights done. But okay,
this stuff is crazy.
Okay,
and why does death fascinate people so much?
Right?
Like, why is death that interesting to you, to where you feel like this is the thing that's going to platform you? Death is not going to make you appear credible. And I'll tell you this: you will always spot an opportunist by how they handle a dead thing.
Oh,
wow.
Yes.
Say that one more time. You will always spot an opportunist
by how they handle a dead thing. There's a bunch of people right now trying to cling to dead things to make themselves famous, trying to cling to things that they know no longer has life. Well, we gonna come over here and revive. That's you see it with a lot of the, you know, the church hop culture, stuff like that. If you pay attention, it's the same people. It's the same spirit. It just shows up in different ways. And so I encourage everybody, be careful. Be careful, because right now, you know, I hate to go this route, but I believe that we are training a culture of trauma actors in the church.
Ooh.
I teach you how to mourn with those. You know, we kind of use that more, but then you're a professional mourner. You're no different than the people who are out here when there's different shootings and stuff. And I hate to do that because I'm not trying to be insensitive to the shootings, but there are certain people you can't convince me that you were in Wyoming and Nevada at the same time.
And in your hospital bed telling us to pray for you.
And so when you think of that stuff, you have to start paying attention. And this is what I want to tell the body of Christ. Use wisdom with this stuff. Stop engaging in it. And a lot of times under the comments, wow, oh my God, girl, I just found out too. You adding fuel to this fire isn't helping us put it out.
I'm so glad you said that, because it's all of it gets on my nerves. But you've got the people, somebody dies and they say it, you know, sometimes it's innocent, sometimes it's innocent, but then you got the other ones that do the, oh my God, I can't believe this, 9 heartbreaks.
That was my neck. Yes.
So here's what, or you got the people say, I'm so sick of y'all. Here's what they do. I'm so sick of y'all making announcements before things are confirmed. Those of us that know to just keep it quiet. We know what happened. And so what are you doing? You're inviting people to inbox you.
Exactly.
Girl, what happened? And what are you doing? You telling them. So what are we? It's still that quest, that thirst for attention. So if you post it early to be first, you want attention. But if you always go on rants about y'all always saying stuff, we know what happened, but you just wait until you also want attention.
You want attention.
Pastor Moore, that's the voice they be using.
That's the one.
That's the one. I saw today in Vegas today. We lost the I'm not. I have like no specific denominational affiliation, but the Church of God in Christ, they lost their jurisdictional prelate. I think that's the term. He passed away today in Vegas. I found that at 8:30. I didn't come on there with a post. I see numerous people, not even in the Church of God in Christ. Heartbreaking, but I can't believe this. R.I.P. Bishop Smith. And I'm just, why would you do that? Can they have their official? He got kids.
Right.
He has grandchildren. How do you know that they didn't wake up and this is the first thing that they saw? And before their family can tell them, they're having to find out from your messy behind.
Right.
I don't even know him, and I heard he passed this morning too.
Yeah, like
You know what?
Yeah, you didn't hear.
Not COVID. I don't know.
Afternoon. You know how disrespectful that is. You know how
I was like, oh no.
Can I ask a question? Y'all don't judge me. She said we're just gonna talk. I gotta ask a question though. I agree with everything that's been said, but in the Jamie Foxx situation, I look at this one different because I feel like it's almost unfair for people to build a life off of public support and public involvement.
Right.
And then when something, but we didn't say he was in the hospital. The family said he was in the hospital. Friends said he was about to die.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know, right? So it's unfair, I think, for people to be like, oh, why y'all all in our business? Because us being in your business made you a business. Like this is the cost of fame. And I'll be honest, I'm over here praying and interceding for Jamie. Then it's about he playing pickleball.
I said, let me go eat. Let me get off my fast. I'm going to eat. I'm out here playing
you want to
Pickleball.
What's that? First of all, and post a picture if you really playing pickleball.
If he really playing pickleball.
Let me see.
I have to agree with my brother Mark Moore, and I will say this. This goes to show the danger of the terms bro, sis.
That's so
friend,
good.
because there are a bunch of people who are friends, for the sake of the post, but when it comes to the intricate details of life,
you didn't know where they were either.
You're my friend when I'm having a conference or when I'm having a revival, but when I'm having a baby shower or when I'm getting married, where are you? When I have a family member who passes away and you don't reach out, where are you? And so it goes to show that there are levels to friendship. And this season has taught us, I don't really know if Jamie has that many friends. A lot of coworkers, a lot of red carpet selfiers, but friends. That's a tough one. And I do agree. Families have to be careful because when you allow things to carry on for too long, people's creativity tends to, heating up, and you don't want that to happen.
So I have to ask about this one, y'all. Let's talk about this one. That post that say, y'all pray, don't ask no questions.
Oh my God, I was just thinking.
So
about
that's my block.
I'm not gonna do either.
That's my block. That's my block.
I scroll. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you putting something on there, and you expect me not to want to know what's happening? Like, come on! I just scroll. I ain't praying. I'm cool.
You couldn't believe in God for somebody else's husband or wife. I know. Yeah, about just pray.
Yeah.
Give it to him, Lord.
It could have been anything.
So these are those things that are attention seeking. Like, y'all pray, don't ask no questions. Well, I need to know what I'm praying about, huh?
Yeah.
What am I praying about? What do you
do?
Grow her edges. I mean, what are
we
we
asking for anything?
Yeah.
Lord, please don't let the FBI find me because my PP.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I ain't praying for that.
About?
You need to go to jail. First of all, you going to jail.
Oh Lord.
Now,
We will pray for you. Now, look, y'all, our time is getting away from us. I have to come here and put my feet up on this one. Stay out of my inbox. Let's talk about it. So relationships, unfortunately, are not safe on Facebook. We have all seen the TV spilled and us viewers slip and fall right into this battle that was once a private relationship or private messages in an inbox. Pastor Criswell, when do you think it's safe for individuals to update their relationship status?
I feel that no one should know on social media what's happening in your personal relationships unless you are married. And even then, you don't have to post everything. People just have to know that you're married. You belong to a spouse. But at the end of the day, the more that you open up about your relationship, unless you are a relationship coach, unless you have a purpose of why you're doing what you're doing when it comes to marriage. But if you are not married, I feel like you shouldn't post. Because you just leave, you open up the door for everybody else to comment on your relationship. You open up the door for everybody else to ask questions. So privacy, when it comes to that, it's intense, it's serious. So I think when you're married.
Right. There are some people, I didn't even know they was married. based on their social media behavior. Surely you can't be.
Yeah, and now that's where I personally have an issue, because marriage is very important to me. So I'll be married 6 years in December.
Woo-hoo.
And one of the things that I think is very important for those of us who are in leadership, or that are, if you pass so-and-so, elder so-and-so, whatever you are, prophet so-and-so, prophet so-and-so, you have to be very careful about the content you allow yourself to put out and engage in as well, because some of these likes and shares are ruining your credibility. Because if you have an unsaved person following you and both of y'all are liking the same IG model stuff, that's not a good look. And then you're trying to invite them to a marriage seminar, for $225. You look dumb. And so in terms of this, you have to really watch what it is you have going on. Mm-hmm. And like you said, like, I love what Shunise says, because she's talking about, when you really shouldn't be putting on social media that you're dating. If we can be honest, Liz, I'm just be very honest. Please. We have created a culture where it is okay to not even be out of deliverance and already be fishing for your next victim. And a lot of what's happening is we are creating an opportunity where we build ministry and platforms off of dating relationships that haven't been tested, haven't been tried at the altar. And we're trying to figure out why the divorce rate is so high. It's because we're creating personas when we aren't checking the character of people.
That's good.
You need to go through something first. I've been married 6 years. I don't even create marriage content. I think it's immature. You need to go through some things. You need to build first. There are things that we have to go through and that we have to grow through before we start trying to monetize something that's still a baby. When you think about it, 6 years, you're barely entering kindergarten. And we have people who are, watch our blog, watch our YouTube, do this and that. And really what you're trying to do is trying to help us monetize something that we're not even sure is going to last. Slow down, make sure this is really what you're supposed to be doing, so we don't have to watch both of you bleed through your next conference.
And he's so right, Lady Hudson, because literally it's so much in the church. We see it. We become experts in so much once we just find out how to do something. We become experts social media, experts this, experts at that, experts at that, experts at marriage, experts at this. But literally, we just got into that life. We just entered into that field. Literally, it takes 4 years to go to college. He just said something really good. It takes 6 years in a marriage. You're just a 6-year-old. How can you be the perfect expert in that area? So I really appreciate that. And I think that's definitely something running rampant in the church, even now, deeper than the thing we were just talking about with the obituaries. It's just so big. And when will the church get to the point when we literally are going to operate like a business truly and bring the individuals and let the people speak truly who have the business sense and who have the business mind and who've had the business training to understand who to speak to our people. So I thank you for that, brother.
Oh yeah, no
Can
problem.
I say something?
Please.
I just want that throw in that to go on top of that. Now I'm married, but I'm not the greatest advisor, but I've talked to some of my fellow singer preachers, and one time I ain't gonna say the name, but one brother of mine, here I go, had said, baby cooked me some dinner. Had a picture of him at the kitchen, and a couple nights later, baby cooked me a dinner. Had pictures in the kitchen, and a couple nights, baby cooked me dinner. I called him. I'm like, brother, these are 3 different kitchens. How many babies you got? Brother, my beloved. Come on, Saints. Don't be surprised we don't invite you to the youth revival. You got rose petals going to the bedroom talking about Happy Valentine's Day. Come on. Discretion.
Who's done?
We don't do that over here in Holiness.
Somebody mute him. You're done.
You're excused.
We don't do rose petals over in Holiness.
Yeah, we don't. We know.
Yeah, we do roses of Sharon in Holiness. There's only roses over here. Lilies of the valley. That's it.
Friday morning star.
There's 3 kitchens.
3. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, 3.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost, honey.
Oh God.
See, that's again. You have to keep your name. You have to choose a good name, and that's not good.
Absolutely.
Not good choice.
Yes.
People don't think that stuff damages their credibility.
Yeah.
But especially for it's male and female preachers, because you got to think about this. Ma'am, what does that say about you?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Every 6 months, prophetess, you have a new fiance,
a new husband,
a new
Hell,
husband.
on your fifth
Oh, this
marriage.
is the season. And it be what annoys me. I just gotta be myself. It be the hashtags. It be the hashtags. How are y'all this creative? Y'all always got it's a different hashtag for each relationship. How are we this creative?
I think you said it's so good. A lot of us are losing credibility because I'm being honest. How are you God's prophet and you ain't see that coming?
I'm not doing that
at all.
I'm not gonna play with you.
You had a word for the region. You have a word for the nation.
You sent me a 13-page honorary contract agreement because you and Jesus first cousins, but you ain't seen none of these divorces.
I'm not doing
a governmental prophet.
Oh, okay.
A governmental prophet acting like
right. And so
it was cloudy that day. What happened?
Cloudy.
So cloudy. Right.
As what? Women, they was on the wireless. That's what it was.
Their Ethernet
they didn't have Ethernet.
was not connected.
They had Ethernet.
I'm done. It's on that wireless.
It's on the wireless. You turn the microwave off.
Right. Shunise, as women of God, brothers, just hold on for a minute, because for us, the serial marriage and the serial dating kind of doesn't, it doesn't look too well. And what I've noticed, and listen, my husband and I will be married 22 years next month.
You say that again, because that's not happening a lot in today's world.
22 years next month. And listen, it got heated even at 22 years. So, this whole let me be an expert thing, table that. But as women of God, what I've noticed, whether you're single or married, I see a lot of women of God. We kind of post, and we have, now I'm not the clothes preacher, but I do think that should not always be on Facebook with all of Cleveland showing. When I am the prophetess,
we need wise women,
faith and power. Body con ain't for everybody, and I know Nita talked about it, but no, really, sis, like you have no friend, you have no mirror, you have nobody to tell you that you're lumpy today. Those are things that we like. It looks so desperate. Like I see the desperation. Like you will do a whole live with your living room with your fireplace lit, and you talking to us
lumpy.
Yeah, you're talking to us about the come back now here.
Liz, you gotta tell them the truth. You have to tell them the truth.
Like
she said, lumpy.
It's attention seeking.
It's not what you're doing. It doesn't show up in a good light. How you look, it doesn't show up in a good light. Like, what are we doing? Like, at some point, the integrity of us as women, the femininity of us as women, have been lost in the likes and the desperation of being this social media influencer. At some point, we can just be ladies, and that does not require me showing you or advertising or always,
that side.
That side one. That's so not necessary.
Thirsty.
So, Shunise, how can we just speak to the fact that, hey, sis, we see you. Trust me, man, you are seen.
You sing.
But this right here is not even necessary because it looks a certain. It comes off. And I'm y'all know I love a cute outfit. I'm all for it, but bring back class with your posts,
especially in ministry, especially in the pulpit, especially leading praise and worship. We should not. I'm just gonna put because I don't do it because I was trained, right? But we should not wear clothing that is provocative. whether it's for male or female. You know what I mean? Some men are up there with tight pants on.
Man, they so
see everything, and it's inappropriate. You know, are you actually here to serve the Lord and be a servant and do God's will, or are you here to as a fashion show to show all your goodies? Like, what's happening here? So at the end of the day, what I was raised about and how I was trained is, number one, you should always wear a dark color, whether it's black, whether it's blue, a conservative color when you're ministering. Not only that, but nothing should be above your knees when you're ministering. On top of that, nothing should be so tight to where they can see your lumpiness or your curves. Things need to be, you know, a little loose where you know, they can focus on what you're saying. They can focus on what you're singing, and then God can still have his way. But now you're up there and we know you got a nice shape, a big behind, whatever you have, you know. Now everybody's looking. Now the women are gossiping. The men are like, you see that man? You know what I'm saying? So now the focus is gone. It's simply gone. So at the end of the day, I believe we should do a class. We should train these women on how to dress, on how to look appropriate, so they can be received and God can get the glory.
I mean, how I was taught, like to this day, I will ask my husband now, am I good? I don't know. They might log off because I still believe in a good girdle. I'm a chunky chick, so back fat is real.
But sis, that ain't just women.
But I'm just saying we got to handle that.
I'm gonna be real, sis, and I work out, but sometimes brothers need a compression t-shirt.
My God.
You in a collar bursting out, and now you're on the first point. Got to take the collar off.
My God,
you have
David, come back.
Men,
I'm with you.
But this is not just a women issue. This is not female. This
Yeah,
is men too. Because we were in an era. We got to tell the truth. We were in an era in the church world where if it wasn't tight, it wasn't right, and that was very dangerous. It was very feminine, and it was if you pay attention, it was really showing the lack of discretion from men as well. Because it almost makes you wonder, if you wear it that tight, is it just for one side? You have to, and then what are you trying to gain off of this? And so, fellas, too, add an inch or two to the waist, to the thigh. Why are you that tight? I know you can't. And then got the nerve to try to dance in the middle of the
Listen,
you are not comfortable.
I took my mother to a concert, and I'm not gonna say the concert. It was here in the Bay Area, and my mom can't whisper.
Too short.
And she leaned over and said, "Why they all got on white pants, and I can see the inside of their pockets and they ankles?"
That's not right.
She said, "Why do I see all of that? And they jiggling? Girl, where do you have me?"
But can I say this though? Because here, everything is right. Everything you're saying is right. But this is where I get frustrated, because when again, it's more than so many examples. So please don't think I'm thinking of anyone in particular. But when a popular gospel artist, we can say all this now, but if a popular gospel artist posts something in a bodycon, and then somebody said, well, let me say it clear. If a popular gospel artist that you like wears something tooted out, whatever, now the same ones that talk about modesty when it's the single mom at the back of the church that can't sing and don't have no Stellar Awards, when it's the single girl that looked at your boyfriend, she's a Jezebel and she need to be chased. But when somebody that you like does it, now y'all talking about bondage. Now you're talking about it ain't fair. This is slave. That's the law. That's why folk don't come to church. Well, wait a minute. Which one is it?
Yeah.
Because the thing is this: if you, sister of God, would have an issue if your husband's coworker wore that to work.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden, now when it's in church, you can't judge her motives. You can't judge her intent. Oh, okay. But you can judge the girl at the job's intent. Why are you looking at my man? Well, wait, why could you judge her intent? Look what she got on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You said you couldn't judge intent by appearance when it was someone you liked, when they were talented, when they're gifted. So I just think if we're going to be consistent, let's be consistent. Modesty matters. Modesty is relative. I'll acknowledge that. But modesty matters.
Yes, it does.
That's a t-shirt.
Because I was thinking that while right before you said that a part of our problem is everybody got delivered from the spirit of religion, and everybody got delivered from all this,
I'm under grace. I'm not under the law. Wait a minute.
You're not the law. You liberated. You free, and you're gonna have me in that bondage, looking old. We ain't trying to look old. Just look decent.
Mhm.
Because again,
yeah, absolutely.
I want to make sure that I point people to Jesus, and I don't want to be the distraction that hinders you from seeing Jesus.
Right.
Pastor, we have a higher standard for people that work at our children's schools than we do for people that preach in our pulpits. Yeah, I would be, and I don't have children, but as an older brother, I'd feel some kind of way if I dropped my parents or my nieces, nephews, little brother, little sister off at school, and the principal had a certain air. But wait a minute, this isn't professional. When I check into certain hotels or go to certain restaurants, I want the wait staff to look a certain way because you represent an institution. Why do we have high standards for every other sector except for the sanctuary?
Listen, even if you go to court, there's a list on the wall that say you can't wear a hat.
Mm-mm.
You can't, even your liquor store say you can't be served without shoes.
Wow. Yeah. But if the church says, hey, you gotta do something. Of course, I know that there's a nuance there, but there has to be some kind of standard. And I think that the excuse we make a lot of times of having no standard in an attempt to win the world is ridiculous. It's not rooted in fact, because the science, the research says rather that when people who are unchurched come to church, the research says they want to experience it the way they remembered with their grandparents.
Yes.
So all the new, we got to look like them to win them. That don't make sense. Go to our brothers in Muslim speaking nations or to the Nation of Islam. They're doing the same. They're covering everything up. You're gonna take this off. Our women, you gonna because we value you. We're gonna cover you up. We're not gonna be see your ass. Mm-hmm. Right? Everything. And what's happening? Those sectors are growing because people say, "I want something different for what I've done."
That's right.
People want orthodoxy. They don't want it. If you're so loose and so so progressive that you have no structure, then why should they be a part of your religion? Why should they be at your church?
So
they could just stay at home. People, when they want to change, they want to come to orthodoxy. And to Pastor Moore's statement, I'll just say real quick that my brother and I, when he was years ago, we went to look for our house that we grew up in. We were driving in the neighborhood and we went down the street and we missed the house, and I circled around again and I couldn't find it. We finally figured it out that the reason why we couldn't find it because they changed the house. They repainted it. They changed up everything, and we couldn't go back home because they had changed the house. And I think that's an issue that people have today. If they want to go back home, they don't know how to find it because we've changed it. Yeah. Because we're so trying to renovate to look like them, to look that they don't know where to go back to.
Yeah. So let's make you comfortable in the thing you're trying to get out of.
Yeah, that's good. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. The math is not math.
Right.
Listen, we are heading to that landing place. We're gonna have to get out of here. I think this was great.
Man, it was.
I've been texting and said we need to do a part 2. Listen, they for real. But I have this thing. Sometimes I wish Facebook would add another button. I'm gonna ask each and every last one of y'all. What button do you think Facebook should add? I think they should add a they lying button. Like just
me.
Go ahead.
Spell check. That's what I need.
Spell check. Tell the truth.
I need spell check. Because y'all confusing. I shouldn't have to ask the Holy Ghost to give me discernment to figure out what y'all
trying to say.
I need all 9 of the gifts to figure out why they got this period in the middle and the capital letters and so that's what I would appreciate if they did that. And then my spirit will be well, because that's messing up your branding and your reputation and everything.
Now that's the truth. I mean, especially for those of us that write books. I mean, there are times where you may misspell a word or you was posting real fast and you didn't see it, but but there are those that are you are consistent with your misspelling, your punctuation, your verb, pronoun, comma mix up. It's a problem. And then you say, come and join us. Well, you can't spell. It just gives off, again, attention. it gives off fraudulence. It gives off, those things. So these are like the things that, even though we laugh at it, it's serious because nobody's really going to take you serious. Well,
if I could add it wouldn't be like a button, it'd be a feature. On Twitter, they have this thing now where if you share false information, the real information will pop up immediately under the post. And I think a great thing that could be added would be that, because there's a lot of people who, because people are leaders, whenever they share something, they take it as fact. They take it as true. And it would be very good, especially when it comes to really being able to properly quote scripture, really being able to tell accurate accounts of events, and really being able to tell when some news is some news. We could have avoided a lot of this stuff had we had that feature, because there's a lot of people who, on Facebook that don't even know really how to work Twitter, but that would be very helpful. It would really help people actually operate in integrity.
That's good. Somebody in the chat said they need the Lord ain't said that button. The Lord ain't said that button.
The Lord ain't said that. God ain't tell you so. I think Jennifer said that. Yeah, God ain't told you.
That's heck of funny.
I love it.
I would say they need that Grammarly right there.
Them squiggly lines.
Yeah, because clearly, we need the spell check, but some of our grammar be off. We don't know put a period or a comma. We get confused in reading it. So definitely, I would say that, Lady Hudson.
Yeah, that Twitter thing they did during the pandemic that said this tweet is flagged for fake news.
Yeah,
we need to keep that around. Cap. This is fake news. Fact check. The church was packed today. Fact check. 17 people there.
Turn that camera around, sir.
Hey, that's my rule. If it ain't no crowd shots, it ain't no crowd. That's
Somebody
a
said a
rule.
way off button.
They need to have a rating for how accurate the prophecies are, like a percentage.
Yeah.
Like a hotel rating. Right. This is a 2-star prophet.
Okay, you have been released, Pastor Ward.
God bless y'all. I love y'all. May the Lord watch.
A 2-star prophet. You know what? I'm not gonna play with you tonight.
If you send money, write a check, because you might need to cancel it because they're not that accurate. Use a credit card for this seed because you might need to report it.
Listen, well, guys, I want to say thank you so much. Listen, is there anything else that anybody wants to say before we get out of here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you, Lady Hudson.
Thank you, guys. You guys have been awesome just to have a cool conversation. Listen, we're going to do it again. I just wanted to kind of see what this conversation was going to do. So y'all in the comments, if this is something you want us to do a part 2 or come back and have specifics, we definitely will. I am glad that you join us. I know we are all on different, I should probably put my glasses on. We're all on different time zones. So I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. Dr. Shunise, Pastor James, Dr. Bishop, listen, his great Pastor Moore, Damon Ray, Kyle West, you guys are absolutely wonderful. I see in the comments, they said part 2 and part 3. Definitely a sequel. To God be praised. We just want to make sure that this was a very informative conversation. Was it fun? Just let me know. I'm all about feedback. But I want to say thank you guys so much for your time. And as we go, I want to give each and every one of you how, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how could they reach out to you and to have you come or to? Because I mean, let me tell you, these 5 boxes is some heat. You know, it's some heat in these boxes. They'll get you to Jesus. They will absolutely get you to Jesus. But Pastor James, if we wanted to reach out to you to have you come and share, how would we get in contact with you?
If it's for therapeutic services, you can reach me on my website at edwardslcsw.com. And if you want to reach the church, just type up Joshua Church of God in Christ, Thank You, Jesus, on Facebook, and you can reach us there.
Okay.
All right. I'm Reverend Damon right here. On everything, I'm Damon Gospel, even on website, damongospel.com. Enjoyed this, Lady Hudson.
Thanks so much for coming.
You can reach me on Facebook at Shunise Criswell. You can reach me on Instagram as Nisi Chris. Facebook is probably the best. Amen.
All right. Well, I'm Pastor Kyle. I'm here in Las Vegas. I put my @ symbol on the screen. So at Kyle A. West, I'm available. Just reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you.
And I'm Mark Moore in Atlanta, and I did the same thing at M Moore Jr. on Instagram. Would love a chance to get to know you. Thank you again so much, Lady Hudson.
It was an honor to rock with all of you guys on tonight. And I'm yours, Lady Hudson, yours truly, www.elizabethhudson.com. I'm here on Facebook cooking, doing something. I'm always around the block. I'm just one click away to pray for you, to be that friend. Well, guys, that's all we have on tonight. It has been a fabulous, triumphant Tuesday. I want to give a huge shout out to our producer, John Moody. He is in the back. Could you go on ahead and put up my friends? Listen, put up my friends. I want y'all to see my friends. Those are my friends. They was on watching while we told Facebook instead of God. Those are my friends. I love the graphic. But in other news, just put me up and we're going to head on out. Let me say this, guys. I'm coming. I think he's going to put me back up. John, put me back in. Okay. Let me say this. I know that we all have social medias and we can post whatever we want to post, but just kind of moving forward, let's be mindful of some of the things that we say. Be mindful that people have feelings, and not only do they have feelings, but they also have families. And the golden rule is you treat and you say things about people how you want things to be said about you. Those of us that are believers, listen, let's wear Jesus and let's wear him well. And again, if we are living epistles read by men, what are they reading when they stop by your post? Would they agree, or would they simply say, and they told Facebook? That's all we got. Thanks for rocking with us. We'll see you next Triumphant Tuesday. Every third Tuesday, we're right here sharing with you how you can triumph. We out.
Triumphant Tuesdays, where grace abounds. We hear the word, enjoy the sounds. They give us courage. We shall not mope. Replenish us with triumphant hope. Thank you for watching Triumphant Tuesday.